So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about...
Aztec Safety is #1 for online safety training.
Aztec Safety is the proud sponsor of the Aztec Safety Challenge, the #1 event on the World Curling Tour.
And Aztec Safety has been a proud sponsor of Team Jacobs on our quest to represent Canada at the Olympic Games.
A very pleasant good day, curling fans, and welcome to the Swift Current Curling Club. It's the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown here on Curling Stadium. This matchup between Kayla MacMillan and Ikue Kitazawa from Japan. My name's Dave Schmell. I'm joined by Sean Joyce. Matt Hone is our producer. Kaylee and Jerry are on the cameras. Good evening, Sean.
Good evening. We've got a game earlier on. I think it was 3 minutes to realize the lineup didn't have on screen. So we're going to try to catch that early and make it tougher. It's the perfect sticks wearing jackets on top of their winter jackets, on top of their curling jackets. We can only see the last names on the first two players.
And this morning it was minus 26 degrees centigrade in Saskatchewan.
Minus 31 here in Saskatchewan. It's balmy in Saskatchewan.
So you're sitting there with your shorts on?
I have got sweatpants on. I'm going to call it indoors.
That's a bold choice.
There's a lot of fleece.
I had fleece, so I'm right there with you.
2, 3.
It's been great curling thus far this weekend. 24 teams in each division. Top 16 making the playoffs of some sort. 8 going straight through the qualifier. 8 will have a pre-qualifier.
Explain it to you. It's complicated. Look at it. The 6 pools, get through to what is essentially a 1-2 page game, as well as the top 2 qualifiers. And the next 8 end up basically with a 4-page game, and that's 8-page formats through to your 8 qualifiers. Now, for these 2 teams, they know that Fujisawa is going to be in these pools. The winner at 2-1 will definitely be in some kind of playoff. Now, I've already taken the time to look ahead. There are 8 teams right now that have 2 losses or more. So one of these teams is going to join the 2-loss crowd after that. That means 2 losses is guaranteed to get you a look at one of those bottom 8 playoff points. So that'll probably go down. Big game for these 2 teams. You know, if you win, you're into the playoffs somewhere. If you lose, your last shot draw is going to be critical because we don't have the stats of the team. There's a lot of teams that are going to end up with 2 losses here.
Yeah, it's always better to take care of your own business yourself.
This is essentially a playoff game.
Line's good, line's fine.
one's going to wreck on that top guard and kick out just a little bit.
Just a little light. I think if she'd have had the weight, she'd have been okay. Looks like she doesn't want to get into a closed off end here. She does have to have it.
Throwing the yellow rocks. It's the team from Nagano. So she was looking to double peel the two reds and spin across with the first one too thick and a little more yellows than she would like. Generally, when you're moving some stuff, you like to leave yours around. So, Sean, how far is that current from Saskatchewan?
I live in Saskatchewan. We don't usually keep track of the distances, just how long it takes us to drive there. If I tell you the answer, I might usually drive, but it's about 4 hours. It's almost straight shot. Far enough that we can see different temperatures this time of year. The same weather as far as chipped coming by and left just a big enough port to get to the start of the back.
All of our regular viewers chiming in. Thank you so much for watching. This one comes through the port, hits the one in the back. That's down in the back for Kitazawa. Going to keep it simple, at least for now.
Probably less than.
Get that hit roll over. It's probably very chaseable.
Well, it is, but
if you want to do that,
yeah, when you got to negotiate a port, it becomes a precise chase.
Yeah, poor offensive
finesse weightage. But they jumped the sweep right away. She looked at the stopwatch and immediately put a rush down. So I might think this is a little light. Good job on the brush. Just that way. Absolutely. You'd prefer to roll behind the other guard just to change the shot. Both guards are about the same distance from the ice. You could probably chase around either one. You can fall back from the ice.
caught the edge of the canyon and crashed into the stone. underneath cover here.
I've seen a couple of momentum swings already during this opening game. Just a chance to set up a deuce.
Now they need to finish it off. They're going to get all the way under. That last little spin.
I was wondering about that. With all that rotation is travel. You see that every once in a while as well. He's just coming to rest and take a bit of a spin. It's still rolling too deep. It's what I mean. Careless to take it on in the first end. You come down to that, just sit in front of it. You're forcing a very small area. But if you don't sit right in front, you could be on three. Saw the Kitazawa team play a chase around here again, but keep in mind that rock would have been about 3 feet deeper, which gives you that 3 more feet to get that time to curl.
Both do it right.
We'll get stuck there. Just stay there and cover. It's not either.
So here's the first for the jacket-laden skipper. Just gets the peel off the top. I will admit, usually you see a skip, especially when they're jacket that heavy, they'll take it off the field. Well, she's going to throw with it on too. Wow. It looks so bulky. Yeah, it's definitely one of those poofy coats. Doesn't have the largest frame in the world.
Yeah, I'm not doing that myself for the duck delivery. That's just way too much. Way too much material.
So here's the stone from Kitazawa.
I think I almost haven't looked at the stopwatch this time. I just jumped it, but backing off now. I might get it close to even with the higher of the two. It's pretty good. Yeah. Actually, you could almost argue that might be too high, but she's going to take a run at the other double anyway. She makes this double, she's probably rolling too far, and it'll be a draw for two. You could try the double off the stone that she just threw. Try to come straight across into this one in the 4-foot, and then you kind of stay in front of the one, the back 8. But if you don't get the second one out, you're giving up 3.
So here's MacMillan.
It's to be about 3/4 on the high side.
On the one, makes both of them and gets out of trouble. It'll be a draw for 2 for Kitazawa.
well, a fairly risk-free opening end, and she got two. She actually played to peel guards early, had a bit of a miscue. Like I said, the momentum's gone back and forth a couple of times this end, but she never really was in any risk of giving up a steal. The middle was always going to be open, and it just took one little mistake. They crashed trying to come through the port, and she was able to set this deuce up.
So final stone in the first end. Kitazawa just needs to touch the rings. Just a nice little clean. They're going to walk it in. Plenty of room, no problem. Put 2 on the board for yellow. We'll be back from Swift Current in just a moment here on Curling Stadium.
Brett, come on, man. I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys. I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait. Do you smell that?
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatchewan in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsocktickets.com. Let's rock!
Welcome back to Swift Current. It was a 2-spot for Kitazawa in the first end. Dave Schmel and Sean Joyce here with you at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown on Curling Stadium. To those of you watching us from across the sea, konnichiwa. So happy to have you with us. And that too was kind of a little bit unexpected if you had looked at it halfway through the end, Sean.
Yeah. We talked about it just before she went to throw her final stone. It was she played to open things up, had a bit of a miscue, then 3 shots later, had a miscue turned back to her. But she was never really in risk, even when they removed their own stone with the peel attempt. They got everything off the center line, so she was always going to have an opportunity to get to the middle. But after killing your own stone, you'd think, well, now we've just got to get this through to a blank, and then another miscue, another momentum swing, and she got set up for a chance for 2. It's actually a good shot by MacMillan with her final stone. It could have been 3.
So here we have our first look at Kayla and team with the hammer throwing the Red Rocks. Beautiful Swift Current club, 6 sheets of ice, and a big spiel.
And certainly lots of, you look at the broom, the amount of ice that these teams are taking to make these come-arounds. They're not taking a lot of ice, certainly not as much as we're used to seeing in some events, but there's good late movement. There's a rock, you see it actually came out the other side. So as much as they may not be getting a ton of curl overall, what movement is there? It's late, so they can still make all the shots. All the nice come-arounds, the tap-backs, the chases that we've become accustomed to seeing. Even that one, a ton of room by the guard, gets that last little bit of spin, and she's a quarter of a rock in front of that Yellowstone.
I think it was yesterday. It was either Fujisawa or Kitazawa. My memory is not up on that, but made about a 18-foot soft weight tap on an angle. It was just absolute thing of beauty. So you're right. All the shots are definitely possible, even if we're not taking broom in the middle of the 12-foot like we see at many events. So there's a good example. It's just going to come past the guard by about 2.5 inches. And it's almost all the way behind it.
Yeah, pretty much where they tapped the ice. That's where they wanted it.
I'd have to score that 4 out of 4 then, Sean.
It was the 5th stone of the end. You could make a play on the guard now. Kayla's trying to make a decision. What do we do? If she, I'm wondering when she's looking at that yellow, does she think she could see enough of the yellow to play the hit and roll over to the corner like she just gestured? And would that still clip the yellow in the 4-foot? And it might. Telling her the either or, you play this with quiet weight. If we get the yellow in the house, that's great. If we happen to rub the guard and the shooter ends up in the rings, that's good too.
Yeah, MacMillan trying to get something going here with a 2-stone lead. Just ticks on the guard.
Yeah, they were hoping if they ticked the guard, they'd hold the shooter in the rings. And unless it takes a big spin back, well, there it did. Oh, it might. It might. It doesn't look like it from the overhead, but again, that far out the 12-foot. It's close.
Well, we'll see if that comes into play later.
You mean as a biter or somebody tripping over it?
Well, it could be both.
Either way, yeah. It's definitely in play for a jam. Like if you ever got to come around that corner guard, any kind of a chase would have to get by that stone. Still rocks in the middle that have to be dealt with before that's an issue.
Not really doing much with this one now. Now they're going to try to make it curl. Using that knifing action.
Yeah, that was not close to the line they were looking for. They were trying to get the curl at the end just to maybe chip off and get to the line they were looking for. Well, now without the guard there, I think she's definitely looking at the double on the yellows and try to roll behind cover. Quiet weight might not kill them both, but move them both.
So we're going to come into contact with the top one. Just flashed by, but rolled nicely under cover.
Oh, and another big spin back. Lively sheet for that.
So really, you think that the ice condition would indicate how much it might corkscrew a little bit?
It can be the ice. Again, I think a lot more of it has to do with the rocks, and it is unusual these days to see not as much curl, but these rocks have to be a little bit sharp because they're grabbing at the end. Like we've seen 3 rocks take the big spin already this end. You're not doing that with a dull rock.
Oh, you see everybody with a jacket. It's possible that the temperature in there is a little bit different.
Yeah, that's likely a factor.
That certainly does affect the curl.
Yeah, the surface will be harder. You get more curl on a soft surface.
Just rolled another MacMillan stone under there. That is danger, Will Robinson. So you hit and lay another one over there.
Yeah, you kind of have to. It's hard to roll back to the middle without risking a jam on it. And the danger here is you over-roll, and you'll kind of force Kitazawa. She'll kind of have to play the draw, freeze in front of it. And if she makes it, she's taking your whole end away. So critical here to stay, you got to be 3/4 underneath probably, but you don't want to give her a path to freeze to the back one either. Don't know if she's going to get enough roll here.
It's going to roll not even a sliver.
That probably leaves her a double and roll back behind the yellow guards.
Maybe even get that back biter out of there too. Potential backbiter.
Mm-hmm.
Definite tripping hazard.
Well, it's also, if it's not in now and you jam this just right, it could be in a second. The nice thing,
saw that. Yeah, we actually saw that last game.
Well, if she jams here, she might. Well, that's a lot of weight. I didn't think she was throwing it this hard. If she jams, she might roll in behind the two yellows. This is a lot of weight when you're trying to roll to a pretty precise spot.
Bang, bang. Jam it, and yep, jam. Just the way you drew it up there, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, but that's why I'm surprised she was throwing that much weight. Like if with the weight that I thought she'd be throwing, if you make that jam, you're probably dead in behind the yellows.
And that's wide open, so MacMillan's going to hit this open one and lie 4.
Yeah, and I would tend to think she does not want to roll behind. You roll behind, they're going to either play the double run or more likely, I would think, freeze to it. Now, I mean, things can go disastrous playing freezes when you're against 4, but Kitazawa's kind of at that point in the end where you're in trouble if you don't make a freeze.
This one's going to roll too far.
Yeah, probably left her double and roll, and she might still be shot. Even if she's second, she could make 2 rocks go away and eliminate the biter at the back all in one shot.
That would definitely be what I'd be inclined to call. Try to get out of jail here.
Yeah, she wants to throw the out turn at it, though, and this is the tougher way to throw it because now she's got to throw big weight again. Corner guard's kind of in the way to throw it quiet if you want to throw the out turn. And same problem here. Now you're trying to make a pretty precise roll with a lot of weight.
I guess if you catch it too thin, you would just slam into that one in the back. The biter.
Maybe. I think if your shooter's going into that one at the biter, you're awfully close to jamming the first one.
So not a ton of weight from Kitazawa. Off and on, they like it. They like it. They get the 2. They get the roll halfway under. Pretty good result there, Shawnee.
Yeah, stayed for shot, too.
Stayed for shot, and it's got jam written all over it.
Well, I don't think she's going to try to play it with a lot of weight. Like, you don't even have to get out. You only have to move it about 6 inches to sit 2. 3 is not... You can't see enough of that to pass it by the red at the back. So that rock is gone, essentially.
R.I.P.
That was the best she could do with that shot. Absolute best. Fantastic shot.
So first of 2 from MacMillan. Looks like she pushed that in just a little bit.
A lot of room coming by.
Is it gonna get there? Yup, jam right on. Lose the shooter.
I mean, she's still in decent shape to score 2, which was all she was going to ever have a shot at. But there is the chance now for Kitazawa to try to bury one behind those 2 yellows. You might actually be able to pull out a steal here. I mean, there's 2 of them. They're a little bit wider than a single guard. If you can split the difference between them, it's going to be real hard to chase.
Would he ever chase around the outside and kill the stone that was just thrown?
No.
Okay.
No. It's just not an area that ice that they see a lot. And of course, the fact that her last one for MacMillan didn't curl as much as they thought. It would be scary to try to chase. You ever rub off at bounce in the open, you've left her a pretty easy shot. This is a makeable shot. Like you see this shot a lot in the course of a game and over the course of a weekend. So they should have an idea about the ice they need for this draw. I think she can bury this just biting the top of the forefoot, and that high in the house, that tight to the guards, a chase would be real tough. You might have to draw for one.
Yes, for just a sliver.
That is so tight. That ice looks so tight for a draw.
It doesn't look like enough, Sean.
No, especially when you see how much they move at the end. But they must run very straight most of the way down the ice. And as you said, that probably goes back to the fact that it does look like the building's a little colder.
And sure enough, it's going to get past the guards.
Well, they were afraid to sweep it because it's heavy. Like, is this going to stop in time? No.
It does not. It's going to be a free draw for 2. Well, as free as things get at this level.
Yeah, I don't think they were positive it was getting by, but I think they were pretty positive it wasn't stopping early. Kayla seems to think it's close enough. She's got to make a play on it.
Could be well, from the way we're looking at it, they're looking at it a lot.
You'd probably have, I mean, if you've looked that many times at it now, you're probably conceding that we'd have to measure it if we left it sitting there.
So MacMillan looking to put 2 on the board and tie it up. Reluctantly takes off the glove.
Delicate shot out wide for the second end.
Final stone of end number 2.
This could still be a little frosty out here too.
Yep, just a heavy clean trying to break that frost. It's going to be around the guard. Now, is the weight correct? Just needs to push it back just a skosh, just come into contact. And that will do it. Put 2 on the board for red. We're all knotted up at 2. We'll be back from Swift Current in just a moment on Curling Stadium.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of
Our way through.
And welcome back to Swift Current. I'm Dave Schmel, he's Sean Joyce. We got Matt Hone, Kaylee and Jerry working with us to make all this magic happen. It's all tied up. After MacMillan got that deuce in the second, Sean.
Yeah, nice shot for her final stone. They look back and forth at those two. Might not have needed to move that even, but they decided it was too close to just try the draw and go to the measurement. So, whoa, man down on the next sheet. So they decided to touch it back, and great weight control. She just threw heavy draw, and they swept it for the last little bit to get the touch. That is, the key to a shot like that. When you're not even sure that you necessarily need to hit it, make sure you make your shot. Your shooter's got to count one, and then you sweep it to get that little bit of a tap to make sure you get the second point.
And
it's the way to throw it, but we don't always.
Yeah, looking at the delay in that broadcast, it just looks like he tripped over the hog line.
It wasn't a gentle fall, that's for sure.
No, it did not look graceful.
That's one where you jump up quick, say, yeah, I'm fine, and you wait till everybody's not looking, and then you try
and go,
this time. How bad am I hurt? Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw the bottoms of both sliders in that fall. That's not a good one. And it draws in and gets that last little corkscrew again.
I'm into the senior ranks now myself. When somebody goes down that hard now, they don't just pop right back up. Even if they're fine, they got to take inventory while they're still on the ground. We've had no shortage of rocks in play here in this game.
Well, as you said before, you talked to a therapist and they described it, what we do as stupid.
Yes, yeah, but not for the reasons of falling on the ice, more for the reasons of, and it's not as bad. Like the format of this event, when it's split, nobody's going to end up playing 3 games in a day. The physical therapist that I used to use, he'd and I still see him, saw him just the other day, talked about our sport being stupid because in the days of playing 3-game days, you're asking your top athletes to try to compete for 9 hours in a day. And in a lot of those bonspiels, those triple knockouts, that's one of the reasons they didn't go to that this week. If you are coming through the C event, it might be 3 games, 9 hours to qualify on Saturday. And then if you're going to win the bonspiel, you got to turn around and do it again on Sunday. Well, there is no other sport in the world that asks their top athletes to compete for that length of time. It's hard. It's next to impossible to be at your peak at that time. In a lot of cases, what we used to do was always, you're trying to manage the aches and pains.
Well, at my club, we referred to the bottle of ibuprofen in the washroom as bonspiel candy. Just trying to keep yourself going however you can.
We saw this in the first end from Kitazawa as well. She doesn't like the cluster of rocks in the middle, so she's going to try to clean that up.
See Nakajima coming on down.
Yeah, I think she's wondering if they could chase the shot rock is what it looks like there. Or maybe just... Okay, I think what she's thinking is the tight guard is a threat. The long guard really isn't covering much by itself. So if you try the double peel and don't get the second one, you really haven't eliminated anything important. So they're just going to peel the tighter of the two guards. And they can see, you know, a good 3/4 of this stone. It's not a bad thought process at all.
Yeah, it's definitely a exercise in sacrificing better for good enough that you're going to make it.
Yeah, well, and I mean, here's the thing. If it's not like even in a different spot in an end where you might be able to try and line the guards up. They can't line the guards up. If they do that, they're not protecting what's in the house. So that long guard isn't really a factor. And when there was so much distance between them, I mean, how many times have we seen you go after that long double peel and you don't catch the second rock? Well, the second rock in this particular case was the only one that was really causing a problem.
And this one makes it close to the center line, but it's much closer to the rings as well. Now she wants to take it on. Firing away for the peel.
Yeah, a little more angle this time available. And she's not going to get the second one, though. Now she's going to wish she hadn't played it.
Ends up picking theirs. Oh, now the rings, and now MacMillan is in business.
Yeah, this is, again, reminiscent of what happened in the first end, playing a double peel and managed to pick their own out, and now they're in all kinds of trouble. I don't even know if you need to throw that guard. Like, there might be a port there. It's awfully small.
How about this? I'll give you 10 chances to throw at it. And how many do you think you make?
Do I have to do it now when I'm 58, or could I do it when I was 38? And if you have that kind of power, why are we calling curling games? But what I'm wondering is, rather than throw the straight guard, could you not just come around, get to the top 8 foot, and even if you're a sliver over curl, that does the same thing as the guard, and now you've got a lot more separation. Like, to make this guard, you're going to have to cluster all these rocks. It's going to make the opportunity for, again, another double peel or triple peel. They're so much closer together than if you were to just come around. Gotta think it would be tempting just to peel the tight one again. That long one is almost no good by itself. So she's looking to hit this on the center line side ever so slightly. It'll graze the yellow, and she could get all 3 of them. So redirect off that yellow, and they'll hope to get all 3 of them, even if they don't completely kill all 3, at least get it away from the center line a couple of feet. Yeah, she wants to hit this a lot really thick if she could.
It's very thin.
Now they're coming around.
Absolutely. Let's see where the broom goes. Just outside the 4 foot. So Brittany Tran. Gonna stack one in there.
It's another one of these stones with that very pronounced rotation, and we'll see whether this one, as it comes to rest, you might see it take another big spin in behind too.
So here it comes, and didn't spin a whole lot there.
A little, not as much as some of the ones we've seen.
Just try to run back the whole kit and caboodle now, buddy.
Yeah, it's all you got. You're in some trouble now. Just try to get back to where you've got a chance to score. I don't see a blank ever coming here. Even if you were to get all three of these, there's just too many rocks to come around.
So on the way from Nakajima, they need to rearrange the furniture here. And they just scoot the sofa out of the way. The coffee table and the recliner are still there.
Probably rolled the shooter. I mean, at a lot of surfaces that we play on, that shooter would still look like it's in the way for a draw, but on this surface, it's probably just far enough. Now, you know, she's still got some work to do to get to where a draw even does her any good, but like there's not much on the other side, I don't see. Those two guards are long, but they're so far off the center line, I just don't see there ever being a draw on the intern side.
Yeah, right now, you know, the only way to score is that extremely long angle raise. Well, I want to throw that.
I'm not. She's got, I guess, angle raises on both sides. She'd have to make the double on the one side. She's going to play the run back again after this guard's thrown.
Oh, for sure. First of two for MacMillan.
This is one actually where a nice long guard would be okay. The tighter it is, the easier the shot is, and this is real tight.
So you see Suzuki back there in the house serving as vice skip.
Yeah, she gets away with that because there's no way to move that stone off the top of the button with this shot.
Too far apart to drag.
Yeah, and you can't just pick the top one, and if you miss the second one, you're not getting the third one. I don't think you could make the double by hitting what you could see of the second one either. That's a touchy shot, even if you could make it. The problem if you don't kill the one off the top of the button right now is you might not have a shot to score or to blank. They're hoping they can get the shooter into the rings. That at least forces MacMillan to make a choice. It's tough though. She's hit. I mean, that rock is more than half out of the 12-foot. So you're throwing a double. You have to hit it fairly thick to make the double, and you're trying to roll the bite. It's going to have to roll probably 9 inches forward.
Gonna need some of that spin.
Yeah. Spin could help. You bite the rings, it forces MacMillan to make a choice, because if she ignores it and throws the guard, and the guard's made really well, like she's got no draw to score, so she's going to play one of those run-ins, and it would be for 2. So it's dangerous to ignore a biter that way. You could bring a second one into the rings, bury it around those 2 guards, make sure you're sitting 2, but then it leaves her a fairly routine shot for 1.
First things first, we got to make this double and try to skid her onto the rings. Gets it. Will it spin on? Will it spin? Will it spin? Will it spin? Yes, it will.
Yeah, forces the decision anyway.
The very last second, it got that spin.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Kayla MacMillan throwing this guard, I want it tighter than what she just tapped the ice. Brittany Tran's got the right idea.
So there you saw that spin catch in just there at the end.
You have to be fairly tight with this. The tighter you get with it, Like if you're dead lined up to the stone in the rings and maybe a foot in front of the rings, the long guard, probably you can't likely make the raise on that and get it by this guard. I don't think you can ever take both of them away without being into the house. And if you're into the house, she's going to try the double. The other option, if you don't want her playing those angle run-ins, and angle run-ins are tough. I mean, you might be just perfectly fine forcing her to throw that. You could come around the 2 guards, come into the top of the 8-foot, and just let her have the open hit on the shot stone for 1. It's scary with how good all of these teams have become at those little angle raised takeouts that you throw this outside of the rings at all and you force her to try a shot for 2 and she might make it.
So here's MacMillan looking to put up a nice, pretty guard. This might be too light, Sean.
Yeah, they're going to have to keep this moving if it's going to close the gap. That's probably enough. Yeah.
It does close it.
But she's got the run on either side. This one's a little shorter, but it's a sharper angle.
Like you said, you just forced her to throw it.
Yeah, she can't score any other way, so she was always going to play one of these. And that's the frightening part of it, is you just forced her to play a shot for 2. Well, what if she makes it? These get made with far more frequency than they did in my day, let's put it that way.
Oh, don't worry, buddy. I still miss him plenty.
Well, the equipment these days is just so good, and the teams have learned to do so much with the sweeping that there's always a shot. There's always a chance to make a shot like this. It's
oh, absolutely.
It's not the wing and no prayer that it used to be.
Yeah, this is, years gone back with when folks were still curling with a cigarette hanging down their mouth. This would have been a highlight reel for the ages.
Yeah, now honestly, most teams and probably the Kitazawa team even, they expect to make contact. The question will be whether or not they can stick it.
So final stone of the third end, Kitazawa looking for an angle raise to make a deuce. Nakajima on the brush, run it back, no, into their own. And it's going to be a steal of 1 for MacMillan. They take a 1-rock lead. We'll be back in just a moment from Swift Current.
Hey, Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan. Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
And welcome back to Swift Current. Steal a one for MacMillan in that. We'll get that score corrected in just a second. Kitazawa with the hammer here in end number 4. So not as close in that shot as they would have liked there in the end.
No, actually, I mean, they were on the brush early, so maybe a little bit inside, because you certainly wouldn't expect it to have curled early. Needed to hit it just a little bit thinner. It has already changed the strategy here as we look in this fourth end, as we start out. MacMillan throwing the first one into the rings. She has thrown center guards up until now. This was supposed to be a center guard.
You could just stack on in instead.
Yeah, I don't think they necessarily wanted to do that in this situation, though. Kitazawa's actually got 2 choices here. She's looking at the hit and roll. You could try to hit this pretty much right on the nose and stay right in front of the red one, too. That's not a bad result. The difference from the first and third, when Millen had to throw first, but she threw guards and forced Kitazawa to come around. Kitazawa, I guess she could have opted to throw the corner guard and played for the box, but she opted to come around and never really got a chance to set up a corner guard. So here she's had a chance early to set up the corner guard, and then when they missed this second guard, now she's already hitting rocks and trying to use that corner.
And they do get half under it, but very chaseable.
Yeah, chaseable, but you can already see how this end is always going to be to the advantage of Kitazawa. They're always one shot away. The middle is never going to be closed off like it had been in the first and the third. And she's one good hit and roll away from perhaps setting up a deuce.
And they make it. Roll on over. Group them up again. It'll be another opportunity for Kitazawa to try the same thing, and that's what she's going to do.
Yeah, because they're touching too, you could probably make the double and roll. I still don't mind. You could just hit the one that was just thrown and roll in front of the other one.
So on the way from Suzuki. Well, no roll to be had there.
No, well, and they swept at the end for curl too. I think they could have just... Actually, they were sweeping early for curl. They actually tried at the end to straighten it out and maybe roll in front, but maybe made that decision just a little too late.
And Lindsay debut. The second for Kayla MacMillan. Her team curling out of Victoria, BC. Kitazawa is going to stay on mission here. So take 2 for Suzuki Minori. Get this one to roll a little bit further. Nope, only just an edge. And we continue the dance. New verse.
Yeah, I thought she might play the double there. You play the double, yes, you're open. Kayla's going to hit it again, and now you play the long roll across, because at least after you make the double, you've got the blank alive. Now she's separated those rocks to the point where it might be tough to get back to a blank. So you're either getting your 2 or you're getting forced.
Just letting this one work. A couple of licks here at the end. And that is made.
Yeah, I would have thought they would have been trying to roll farther away from this guard. That makes it a pretty short roll.
All right, hit and roll, take 4.
Yeah. You want to roll at least far enough here. Even if you roll, half a rock open on the other side of the guard, for second shot, it becomes a difficult stone for MacMillan to ignore. Plus, if she chases it, if she goes after it from the wide side, you're drawing on the next shot no matter what she does. You have to roll far enough this time. Oh, did they overcurl that?
Maybe it gets a little spin back.
That's still fine. Like, she's got to go after that. She can't ignore an opposition stone that she can see. And once she hits it, you could just come around the guard. Like, it's got to be easier to get there with a draw than to continue to try to make the perfect roll. She's even looking about peeling it out just to not leave something they could corner freeze to. I do think you want to stay in the rings. Maybe you don't want to sit right there.
They're looking at being about control weight. On the way from Tran. They pick it up right out of her hand. All the way to get by. Oh, you just did. But it does leave that corner freeze. Or draw under even.
Yeah, tough to make it any good under because the red's going to be such a short angle raise.
So just the draw. This officially kisses the blank goodbye.
Well, not quite yet. you get this draw underneath, and again, MacMillan's going to make a play at the red onto the yellow, and she could kill both of them and roll out.
You're letting facts get in the way of a good story, Sean. This needs to settle down. Settle down, settle down. It did not. That's a big miss.
Yeah. Absolutely hate that. There she's rolling that direction. I think her first shot idea was still the best. It's none of it's great because here's the thing. You know now that she's forced. So wherever you put this, Kitazawa's going to have to try to use it, but I don't think you want to let her try to roll behind the corner guard. Put this in the back of the forefoot, make her throw the perfect freeze. That's never easy, especially with such lively rocks. I think you give her that opportunity and just hope she doesn't make a freeze so good that you can't blast it out. You don't want to leave her the chance to just hit and roll in behind the cover.
So Kayla MacMillan. Trying to keep the force in order. And that is going to come right to the tee line.
Yeah, arguably too high. And now I'm surprised she's looking at the double now.
Yeah, what does that really even do for you?
Not much. This is what I thought she'd be looking at. Play the hit and roll. If you get in behind the cover, you're probably not shot rock, but you're second. You might be able to. Boy, it's so hard to tell whether you could be shot rock or not, because as you roll across, you're going to get deeper in the house. She might be able to get enough of the 8 foot behind cover to still be shot, actually.
Or throw it about a 2-5 and go all the way around the horn and kill them all.
Yeah, I don't think that's... I'll be surprised if she looks at that. I'm just looking... If she could roll right to split the tee lines, she could be in behind cover and be shot rock. Now, she maybe can't quite dead split it. I guess it depends on the weight. I guess you could throw it really hard and make sure you dead split the center line, but then it's hard to pinpoint the roll. Yeah, I think she could stay high. The more I look at it, the more I think she might be able to stay high enough to be dead buried and shot.
So Kitazawa, poofy coat and all.
Hey, being warm is important.
Senta on the way. This one's curling.
Yeah, they went for the carve, but I don't think they needed it. It was already at the nose with still another 20 feet to curl.
So opportunity missed there, and force is on all day now. Okay, throw right about there. Make him draw.
Yeah, you have to be really careful throwing a draw to the middle like this. If she's a foot too high, she could leave a triple for 2. You stop this in the 12 foot instead of the 8 foot. Now, whether or not she'll take it on, that's a whole other question, but you stop this in the 12 foot, it's close. Put this in the 12 foot splitting the tee line. The angles are just about right.
Did you remember to put a telestrator on your Christmas list?
It's on my Christmas list, yep.
At least use the dry erase on the laptop now.
Yeah. Well, I get what she's looking at here. She wants to put this in a spot where a nose hit on either one of the two reds in the 8 foot wouldn't get shot rock. But if you try too hard to not slide deep, like she doesn't want to be in the 4 foot because then a nose hit scores the point. But if you're trying so hard to make sure you're not heavy and you end up leaving this in the 12 foot, there could be a triple.
Kind of like this.
I think they're going to drag it far enough. Probably just far enough. But the nose hit, the nose hit on the outside one does count now too.
Yeah, I think if you went to throw it, the first rock you hit would go over right now, I would think.
Depends which way you're playing it, but yeah, like if it's splitting the center line, it's close, but it's all the way just to touch the edge of it. So that it's not that 90-degree angle you look at for the 3 rocks. Really probably more just light than anything too. If she has a foot more weight so that they don't necessarily have to sweep it quite as early and they get it fully into the 8 foot, it probably curls a little bit more, and then a nose hit probably doesn't get shot rock. This is a little surprising to me, only in that I don't remember them throwing inside-out hits very often in this game. She had a couple of shots 2 ends ago to play some stuff, and even when she was playing tight by a corner guard, she opted for the out turn. You know, I understand what she's looking at. She's, you know, we gear in this way. It's a little bit easier to make sure we roll to the middle, but do you know this path? We're going to find out.
Final stone of the 4th. On this one, pretty much out of her hand, coast to coast. Can they hang on to it? Yes, they can. It's a single point for Kitazawa. Halfway through, we're all tied up at 3. Back from Swift Current on Curling Stadium.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Welcome back. It's the 5th end. We're all tied up at 3 here at Swift Current. Thanks so much for joining us here on Curling Stadium for the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Dave Schmel, Sean Joyce here with you. And what's your assessment of the first half of this game, Sean?
Well, it's a lot of the situations have gone in MacMillan's favor, and it's been, you know, the first and third we saw the same thing both ends, is that Kitazawa, trying to peel guards, eventually ended up killing one of her own stones on the top 8 foot and then was scrambling for the rest of the end. Now it worked out for her in the first. She was able to pick up the deuce, but never got back to the spot where she had that chance in the third. Flipped a steal, and that has just, it's flipped the hammer. Kitazawa had hammer to start the game, and now as we start the second half tied up, it's MacMillan with the last rock advantage. And we'll see what she could do with it. It's already interesting as they start this end. And we saw this a lot when the 5 rock free guard zone started. Yet you don't see it as much anymore. The center guard thrown up, and she throws the draw to the corner right away just to try to keep the play away from the middle.
And last end, it was, 4 cracks at the apple to try to roll under cover?
Yeah.
You make any one of them, you're probably looking good for 2.
Yeah, I mean, that end was certainly in Kitazawa's favor. There was never going to be any risk. The middle was open early, but I think it's the difference between those first and third ends. And again, disaster shots for Kitazawa in both of those ends as they killed one of their own and then had to scramble a bit. But it worked out for her in the first. It didn't work out for her in the third, and now she's got hammer against her in a tie game as we start here in the fifth. She's got something to work with here already in the fifth end, though. That one might bite, but she's basically got 3 center guards, and that stone at the corner shot rock, MacMillan will have liked that in the back of the house because you knew that this was coming at some point in time. She's going to play the hit and roll back to the middle. If it's in the back 8 foot, back 12 foot, this shot doesn't help Kitazawa as much as that was the tradition, the way you'd play it. They throw the center guard. You want one in the corner, you want it behind the tee line. So that if they do make the hit and roll back, they're well behind the tee line. She can roll to the top 4 foot buried here.
So they're going to get just not enough roll again. They're just not judging them right, Sean.
Yeah, hit that one fairly thick, and that was a good opportunity, too.
And they were off and on the whole time. It's not like there wasn't margin to call on it.
Well, and it's a wide, it's not like some of these rolls they've been playing earlier where you're trying to roll perfectly behind one guard. There's basically a double wide guard and really almost a triple wide guard, because you could argue that biter, that red biter, acts as a third guard. You could have rolled behind any of the 3 of those, and she'd have had a hard time getting to the yellow one. So to under roll and not get behind any of them, that bit of a missed opportunity. Too much cluster on the middle now, so MacMillan's looking at the double peel. Not sure what the only thing I can think of that's taking them a long time to decide how they want to throw this is, do they want to try to stay for a corner guard or not? And you could make a strong case right now. You double peel, roll away. You could start thinking about the blank here. If you're MacMillan, you get the blank in 5 and you've got the hammer in a tie game in 6. That's a really powerful position. Not the way she had the double peel in mind, but it works.
Sometimes it works out that way, Sean. Sometimes it just works out.
So for Kitazawa, you probably got to try and hit and stay right there. I don't think you want to roll into the rings. You roll into the rings, you probably make the double too easy. And then the blank is all but assured. Make the hit here, stay right there, let MacMillan go after the open one.
So there's a hit. MacMillan's going to have to go after that open one.
Yeah, and she's not trying to roll behind the yellow here. She's trying to roll well past it. You want to get deeper in the rings and well out into the open. You're just trying to keep the play out from behind that guard. They don't have that much room to roll to the broom side, and you roll to the broom side at some point in time. Kitazawa, it might even be the next shot, she tries the long rolling behind that guard, and she'll be deep enough that it makes the run back a little tougher. Nose isn't bad.
And out it goes.
Yeah. Kitazawa has a decision to make here, too. I'm a little surprised that she's automatically looking to roll behind here, because you roll behind and it's a pretty short double. You could make a case for hitting this right on the nose. You hit it on the nose, MacMillan's going to nose it again, and you could nose it one more time after that. Now you got 2 guards. Like, you don't really want to see a blank here.
Right, because you leave that short of a run, the blanks becomes almost a gimme.
Yeah, you expect the double to be made.
Well, they didn't roll under.
No, but they rolled far enough that, the nose hit's probably biting the rings here, and it's a long ways off center. Kitazawa at this point in time, all she wants to do is not leave a chance at the double. Just keep them hitting this stone until you can creep it out of the rings, and then you might have a chance to come around something and at least get a force. This may not get to the nose.
It does just.
Yeah, because if that rolls to the outside and it's not biting, she's coming around.
So out turn, hit and roll here. Trying to spring it a little bit lower into the rings. Once again, right out of Nakajima's hand.
Not the end of the world here if she were to just nose this.
Gonna get some roll. You're in the rings.
Yeah, I've almost, if you were going to roll that far, I'd have been tempted to stop the sweep and just try to roll a little bit less. You want it where she noses it, she's not in the rings. So then she's got to play a little bit more aggressively for the roll. If she rolls out, you get to come around.
Still on the way from Tran. And they hit it right in the nose, and they will be nibbling.
Yeah, I think you're just nosing here. Force MacMillan to make a decision. Like you make the nose hit on this, it's pretty hard to make the double peel and roll. And if you come around, you're coming around a tight yellow guard either way. You draw to the wings, you leave her the hit and roll in.
So do you think MacMillan would take on the come around?
Well, the problem with the come around is it's dangerous. You leave the short run back, and if they stick it, you're forced or possibly giving up a steal. I like the nose hit here. Like, you make the nose and you force MacMillan to make a decision, and at the very least, the blank's in question.
So
it's pretty
your
good.
ball, Kayla.
Yeah, I think she's got to try the double peel and try to wiggle through the two of them. It rolled just enough to the outside. I mean, this is not easy, but I think that's what she's got to play. Yeah, she's talking about going up. I don't see that happening. Hit the one on, so if we look at the overhead screen, hit the one on the left, thin, try to catch the back of the one on the right, and squeeze your shooter into the rings. Yeah, that's what she's looking at now. Hit them both and wiggle in. She's just looking at hitting the wrong one first. It's easier off that one, yeah. It's always easier when you're trying to wiggle through to hit the deeper one first, because you want to get the back end of the second rock.
So she's figured out where she wants to make contact.
Not if that's where she, yeah, that's better. I was going to say, not if that's where she thinks she means to. You always need to hit this. It's almost, you could say it's thinner than you ever think it's going to be. Half a rock, she just rattles between the two of them, and
stays there.
Coming around, yeah. A quarter of a rock. Quarter would be close. You're still going to hit the second one fairly thick, because keep in mind, there's not a lot of distance between them to get to the back half. So I think actually she's going to play the in-turn so she can gear down a little bit off the contact on the first one.
And obviously you have to come at this with some pace.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to whip it. They're so close together. It's a question of hitting the first one right. The rocks are so lively too. And she doesn't have to get, she doesn't need to spin this into the forefoot. She just needs to get a piece of the rings. more important to hit the first one right. She's hitting the first one thin enough that if you hit the first one right, you should make the shot. Because you're going to carry a lot of the weight through.
So MacMillan looking to rattle the cage here. Bang, bang. Does
fine.
it settle in the rings? Nope. Right on through.
Had it settled would have been the bonus, but you were going to have a chance for the blank as soon as you touched paint. You were going to have a shot for the blank, and if it keeps on skating right through, well, Kitazawa draws somewhere in the house, and you're still going to have an open hit for the blank. That was a good shot.
I wonder if those two gentlemen are watching the replay or playing with their phone, doing something else.
And maybe trying to text somebody and make bets. I've suggested that in the past. It's just the way the internet works when you're watching a YouTube game. If you're actually in the stadium watching, I've seen it by as much as 30 seconds delayed because everything has to hook up to the World Wide Web, and it takes a while before it gets back down to your phone. So I can remember sitting there with I was sitting, you're gonna laugh at the name, I was sitting watching with Russ Howard when his daughter Ashley was playing with Carly here in Saskatchewan, and I said, well, you've got time to text Glenn and make bets on these shots because he's not going to see it for 30 seconds yet.
Oh boy. Well, I think I saw the guys make that little 6-7 reference in the background, whatever that means. That's right, you, Mr. White Trucker Hat.
In curling terminology, that means that somebody on some sheet has given up a lot of points because there's no 6 or 7 in play here.
Mm-hmm. So final stun of the fifth end. Kayla MacMillan looking for the blank. And the blank is made successfully. She'll retain the hammer in 6 when we come back on Curling Stadium.
Brett, come on, man. I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys. I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait. Do you smell that?
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbach coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
Welcome back to Swift Current, all tied up here between Kayla MacMillan and Kitazawa Ikue. It is MacMillan with the hammer here playing in end number 6.
And we've seen just about all the possible end starting scenarios that you can imagine. Here we see the corner guard thrown after ignoring the center guard. And that's the difference between the fifth and the sixth. Fifth end, MacMillan played into the rings, didn't get it where they wanted, but played into the rings, hoping to get into a blank situation, which she did. Here, sixth end, even end, she's thinking about trying to score. They have played the corner guard. And so Kitazawa was going to throw the second center and try to make that deuce difficult to get. Maybe make it difficult for them to even use the corner guard. Just got that to the center line. Important because of the no tick zone.
Absolutely. And early on in the week, we saw a lot of rocks not make it to the center, but teams seem to have dialed in that ice now and figure out where the broom goes.
Well, and you've probably heard me say this before, Dave. I know I've talked about it in the air before. One of the biggest effects I think that the no tick zone has had, it was actually an unintended consequence, but I like it. It's worked out well. You take a shot like this where it used to be a skip, but I was as guilty of as anybody. You're playing the shot, you tight ice it, because if you rub that guard on the way by, you get it off the center line. That's a good shot. Well, now it's not a good shot. Now, if you're going to play that come around, you actually have to play the come around. You can't tight ice it and just make sure you make contact if nothing else. You have to precisely play the come around draws. Unintended consequence of the no tick zone, but I think it's a good one because now you're not playing, area plays with the fourth stone at the end. Now we should see some pressure shots for the rest of this end.
Absolutely. We are on deck for something big now. We see our numbers of viewers starting to rise as the sun rises over across the Pacific. So good morning to everyone in Japan, Ohio. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed to us yet, please do. We really appreciate it. You can stay up to date on Curling Zone on all the different action. Trying to figure out what they want to do next year, Sean.
Yeah. The freeze was made pretty well. You don't really want to start walking up and peeling guards. You're back to a blank. This is opposite to where we were in the last end. Kitazawa would take a blank here because then if you force 1 in 7, you're in a pretty decent position coming home. You just don't want to give up 2 here.
And they're going to have a quick talk about it. I'll get you updated on the scores real quick. On the men's side of the bracket, it's Sam Moybrick with a 5-2 lead over Ryan Jakes. That game is playing the 6th end. Matthew Blandford, 4-2 over Marco Hosley, playing in end number 7. Steve Laycock, 5-3 over Jordan McDonald. That game playing in the 7th. And it's Dustin Kaltoff with a 4-2 lead over Magnus Ramsfeld. And in our other women's game, it's Tirazzoni 6-2 over Campbell.
After the discussion, they decided to come around from the out-turn side. I think this is the right call. I get what the reservation is. I mean, you're putting all the play down the middle early on in this end, which is not necessarily the way you wanted to play this end, but you've got a chance to sit 2.
Gotta get around the guard. Oh, just did, but is it too much weight?
Yeah, they maybe needed to communicate that better. If you knew it was that heavy, you might have been better off to rub the guard and end up on the corner somewhere. Your end could get taken away with one good freeze here. doesn't have to be right down to it either. She could bury this just on top of the tee line and perhaps be in a good steal position. But if you freeze to the back one, there's not a lot of scoring area left, and the 2 for the time being is, the danger has been reduced.
So, big shot here for Suzuki Minori.
I'm not sure she's get by.
I think they can hold it, Sean. I do, and they did not. I was trying to have the power of positivity there.
There's still an argument to be made. That might have been the better result for MacMillan on the last stone rather than getting it by to the back of the 8-foot. Even where that stone is, that's why MacMillan's looking at hitting it. It's a dangerous rock to leave there. You try to come around again, and Kitazawa could play some kind of a chisel off that and get her stone into a position where you'll never get at it again.
So like you said, as expected, high pressure shots all the way through the end from here on out.
Yeah. The roll here is so critical. It's not actually important that you get into the yellow one. Even if you are a little thin on the first yellow and come into the side of your own, you need to take away the draw path to that back red one. This might be a little thin and a lot of spin. This is going to roll a long ways. She did get the yellow. She's pretty good there.
That's not bad at all. They lie 3, and you look at that. MacMillan lies 3, of course. How does Kitazawa lessen this?
Well, she's got the yellow red she could play. The problem is you don't want to pop back out into the open.
What if you catch what you can see of that red one there?
You might be able to double the top 2. Yeah, I think you can.
So that's probably the best outcome if you can make that happen.
Yeah. But boy, if you ever just stuffed it and left it right there.
That would be bad. I'd recommend against doing that.
I don't hate this. She's looking at, so rather than try to chisel the yellow onto the red, she's trying to hit this right on the nose, kill the yellow red, but leave the yellow stone, the shooter, right there, and it'll be fully exposed, so available for some kind of a run-in. You just got to get rid of those other 2 stones. They're in the way right now. She does not want to roll to the outside at all on this. You roll at all to the outside, it gives MacMillan room to get to the inside of this and again, flop under cover. You want to stay right there where you can use it, and it's a problem for MacMillan to get rid of it.
So Nakajima.
Oh, little spin at the end. I think she's got second shot.
I do believe you're correct. That's a little bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have bet it wasn't going to stay there. There's a port. She could get to it. The problem is the danger stone is that yellow one that stayed right there. And you could probably get ever so slightly to the inside of that.
You ever try to shoot the port and you miss, you might raise that yellow right under cover.
Yeah, you might. There's been so much movement to the corner, and the stagger's right on the guards. I think it's there. The problem is this is the dangerous rock. The one they're trying to hit right now is the one that's causing the problem for it because it can be raised up. I actually don't think you want to roll under now. You probably want to hit it, stay right there, right on the nose, only because if Kitazawa actually comes off of her own, you need a way to get it out. So you leave this stone in the open, and it's available to be promoted. Boy, if you chisel it onto the yellow, it's liable to come to the back one. No, she's got the nose. She's good.
Yep, dead on the nose. MacMillan shot stone. Second for Kitazawa. Looks like they're looking at this double here.
Yeah, I got to think if she's playing the double, she's playing it quiet. You want to hit this just off the nose because you've got to leave your shooter in front of that yellow on the side of the 8-foot. You can't roll out here. You're just giving her a chance to hit and roll back under cover, and 3's still in play. But you can hit this just off the nose, make the double of the stone at the back of the 4-foot, and guard your own stone on the corner, which is actually, it would be shot rock after you make the double. Boy, now I think you're playing the port for sure.
Yeah, I think that shot's certainly there.
Well, the port's a little bigger, and it's tougher to do anything with that yellow. You can't see all of it. Like you could maybe run it onto the one on the top 8-foot, but you make the hit and roll here, that would still leave MacMillan sitting 2. You could draw a tap on it, I guess, but I still think this is the right call.
So Brittany Tran trying to shoot this port. Starting to curl now. Hold it out there. Past the red one. Just by. And you make it there. Big scrub there. They weren't worried.
Yeah, still, it's left the shot, though, to hit and roll in behind cover for shot rock.
Probably easier now.
Yeah, I mean, you have to throw a little bit more weight, I think. Don't have to whip it by any means, but hard to make it with, hack or bumper. You'd have to flirt with the yellow one on the 12-foot. Probably more of control weight here, which is fine. Actually, probably want to roll over behind the red if you could. If you roll just behind the yellow, she can probably see enough of that red to chisel it onto the one you're about to throw.
So the broom is down. Suzuki will be holding it. Second holding the broom for the skipper. First to 2 for Kitazawa. They picked this one up right over her hand. It looked like she might have pointed it out that way a little bit.
Definitely.
Can they hold it there? Can they hold it there? They get it to just dead nose.
Well, and you don't even have to play that now. It's third shot.
Just looked like it was right on the release, just a little turn. They're still looking at playing it, though.
Yeah, and I think the reason they're looking at playing it is because if you look at how everything is setting up in the house, probably the only shot Kitazawa's got left is the tap up on the yellow. It's going to be against the loss, right? She's going to be looking at 2 or 3, and it could end up being 4 if she doesn't make it. But what other shot does she have to get out of trouble other than to tap that stone up in the 12-foot? Well, if you hit and roll up underneath that stone in the 12-foot, she doesn't have it. She can't make that tap. Saw them gesture for even a longer roll. That I don't like. Like, if you're playing this hit, you're trying to take away the tap.
All right. The jury has reached a verdict.
Yeah, even if you roll this kind of in beside the other red and force her to play the slash double, you'd give her that because then it's a draw for 2. Just don't want to leave her a shot to get out of the end here.
So Kayla MacMillan trying to set up a big end. Trying to walk it over. It's still on the guard. Does it get past it? Yes, it does. But it's going to fall all the way out. That could be the way out. There's a double there.
Yeah, there's a double at the back. She's looking at the freeze, but that's tough. Like, it's easier to get there with the hit and roll, actually.
I think you got to throw the double.
Yeah.
That one just never curled over far enough. You got plenty of cover to be under there, too. And
yeah, and you're high enough up hitting the first one that you might get, if you can get to the front end of the second one, you'll actually spin up a little bit and further in behind cover. It looked like part of what they were worried about, so they're trying to hit this first one fairly thick. They may have been worried about getting the second one out because I saw Suzuki walk up to the front one to take a look at the yellow, and presumably she's wondering, well, how far do we have to get that second red one to make sure that we're second shot here at the top?
Game-changing shot right here.
I was thinking the same. That looked like a lot of ice, so she's tightened it up. She's got to hit the first one fairly thick. She's playing the in-turn, so she gears into it, carry a little momentum over there.
Lots of rotation. This is going to gear hard. Does it curl up far enough? Hit the one, bounce over, make the second one stick right there. Nice shot by Kitazawa. Let's put a quarter in the machine and say it again.
Would have liked to have hit it just a hair thicker. There's a sliver sticking out, and she only needs to move it a few inches. You could see about halfway they decide this has got to curl. And as it is, where she hits it, under half, just a sliver under half, and she goes dead into the second one. If she could have hit the first one a little thicker, she comes to the front half of the second one, and she would have spun up and in behind. As it is, this is still there for 2. It's basically a heavy draw. We saw MacMillan play a shot, not in this area, but the same type of shot in the second end where she just played to move a rock at the back a couple of inches. So, she's got ice water in her veins. She doesn't have a problem throwing this shot. It all becomes a question of the line.
I have iced tea in my veins. So looking for 2 here. MacMillan, final stone of the 6th. Delicate shot, got to make it just right. To manage the weight and the line. Holding it straight, getting close to the guard. You're by it now. Now carve it over, move it far enough. Will it stay? Which rock's going to travel further? Which one goes further? And it's going to just be a single point for Kayla MacMillan. Kitazawa will have a hammer in 7 when we come back on Curling Stadium.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the the official store for the Grand Slam of Curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of Curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of...
And welcome back to Swift Current. A single point for Kayla MacMillan. Kitazawa has the hammer there, and Sean, Kitazawa has to feel great about that.
Yeah. It was looking like a deuce. She made a good double with her last one, actually, and she spun up with it. She might have been able to even pick up a steal there, but made a difficult shot for Kayla MacMillan. I thought she would have thrown just a little bit less weight. She didn't need to move that rock very far as long as she stayed herself, and a little bit less weight would have given her more chance to finish after she got by her own stone at the top of the 8-foot. But she does pick up her singles. She's got the lead here as they play in 7. And these 1-point leads, as the hammer goes back and forth as you play late, it's always fun to watch the cat and mouse. We saw MacMillan throw to the corner. We saw her in the 5th end, I think it was, throw the rock into the rings. Here, Kitazawa was coming around the center. Didn't get it buried, but she played the come around. We don't get to see these teams enough to know what their particular preference is, and I think it comes down to ice. You'll hear teams talk about, what is your preference? Would you rather be 1 down, coming home with last rock, or 1 up without? And I think the stats show you're still better off to be ahead. But I take the argument that it depends on the ice surface. And on this surface, it might be better. And there's your friend, Dave.
Yeah, there he is. For those who remember our last event here at Swift Current last year, there is the Swift Current superfan. Watch for the rest of the week. He will be plastered behind that glass in an Islanders sweater, and you have to at least give him credit for being a loyal fan to that team. And we had spoke with the management of the club. He doesn't even curl. He is just a curling super fan.
Well, he's watching the Saskatchewan women's team that's out there. Jolene Campbell is playing on that sheet, so he's also playing She's also playing against Tirinzoni, and Tirinzoni has a following wherever she goes too. So back to the point about this end. Now, Kitazawa, does she want that hammer coming home? If she does, she wants to play for the blank here. I would almost argue on this surface, you might be better off to be up because the deuces are hard to come by. So if she gets a chance to set up for 2 here, I would suggest she take it. But on a lot of ice surfaces, especially the stuff that we see all the time where you've got 5 and maybe 5+ feet of curl, I would make the argument, and she's going to play for the blank. Okay. I would make the argument you might be better off to play for 2 coming home because the 8th end is different. Deuces might be hard to come by every other end, but in the 8th end, if you need a deuce to win, you're not thinking about defense. You're not worried about keeping the blank alive. You're worried about scoring 2. So it's different. It's really hard to stop a deuce in the 8th end on the ice that goes 5 and 6 feet. maybe not as hard on this ice.
So, ooh, didn't want to do that.
Yeah. So much for the prognosticating.
Well,
one missed peel, and now
it's back the other way now.
Yeah, it's you can take a look at it from the other side. For MacMillan, she'd love to see a single point go on the board. She doesn't care who scores it. So the fact that there aren't very many rocks in play right now actually works to her advantage. It's either a blank or a single, and a single is good for her either way.
So they're drawing around this guard. And they're going to come into the rings. Now Kitazawa has to shift gears herself.
Yeah, well, she doesn't want to be forced, so you come around. 2 is not bad here. I still maintain on this ice, you might be better off to be ahead for sure. And that rock stayed fairly high. It actually acts as a guard. It's in the 12-foot, but a rock at the 12-foot could be a guard.
So gets around the first one.
They're bringing this for weight right now as much as anything. She had plenty of room coming by.
Yeah, just not enough steam. You need to make sure you throw this one right.
Well, you could say that on every shot, but she needs to hit this right on the nose or roll big. What you don't want to do is roll a rock good, because then she makes the double and stays behind cover. You hit it right on the nose and you actually make the come around real tough. This is overcurling.
It did overcurl. Might not even kill it. It does not.
There's no weight on that either.
So
I don't know if she would have killed it if she hit it on the nose.
So the plot moistens.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm in love with this call.
It feels like it sets up a double. But
it does. I'd make the argument you could hit the other one and roll towards this one, and then there's probably no double because the jam. I get that she wants to hit something because you'd like to get back to a possibility of a blank if you don't get your 2. Well, that's better than the nose hit. Ooh.
Oh, that corkscrew back. Probably didn't hurt him that much.
Yeah, still okay, I think.
It was a very nice roll. So Brittany Tran this looks like it's just going to be pretty much nose and roll a little bit. Not the worst place for a roll, but
yeah, it definitely rolled the wrong way. I mean, there's a double on the reds, and then you're back to, if you're Kitazawa, you're getting either a deuce or a blank out of this. Now, the double has to be made, but you over curl and miss the double, you're probably rolling behind cover too. So
here's the last stone for the third Nakajima. Trying to carve this over. Contact on the first one, and they just stuff it.
it's not the end of the world because the shooter is biting. For MacMillan, when she goes after this, she almost needs to roll open far enough to leave the two reds even. You don't ever want to leave a chance at a double now, and then you have to expect. Well, or do you? I was going to say you have to expect Kitazawa to come around, but she could play the straight back yellow onto the red, try to stuff it in behind cover. The center line guard is so high, I don't think she has to worry too much about the steal right now. It's what can she do to set up the deuce.
So Kayla goes through her pre-shot routine. Leans the stone. Off with the glove.
I think you want a broom side roll right to where the broom is, actually.
And we have one of the other Japanese teams watching here. Haven't really done much of this. Now they're going to try to carve it over and get a piece of it and roll open, and pretty well even. Clear out the back. No. Oh, dear Lord, that's a long way.
It is, and it's flat. But, I mean, even if you roll right where she's circling the ice now, if you roll past the guard over where she has to make a play on it, there's a chance she's leaving you a double. Critical to roll past the guard here.
Right.
Or roll dead in behind and hope she rolls out on the chase, because you've got the short little runner for two still.
So you throw the out turn or the in turn at this?
Well, I would throw the out turn at it. You want to roll as flat as you can. She's opted for the internal few of these types of shots just to get the extra kick from the gear. But again, I don't think you're ever getting the second one out. It's tough. It's really flat. I'm not 100% sure. So it looks like they're playing the long roll for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You can't pick either or here. You got to pick one or the other. Like they've indicated both, but here's the problem. If you roll just past the guard so that it's wide open, you leave it too easy for her to hit and roll back in behind or out to the other side. You want to get close to that second round. Rolling past the guard, you want to get over there far enough that she runs the risk of leaving the double. Or you're rolling behind the guard. There's 2 feet difference between those rolls. It's not either or. It's got to be one or the other.
She's playing the quieter one, so it's probably looking to roll to the center. Get the hit. Rolling right to the center. Leaves just a little bit exposed, but
that's pretty good.
I think that's a great outcome, Sean.
Yeah, because now you got to play a delicate shot to get that out. And if you stay right there, you can take a look at it from the overhead. She's going to leave double or angle for a double, which would be for 3.
So like a game of cat and mouse.
Ideally, you need to get this all the way under, and that's going to be tough.
So the trap is set. Got the peanut butter on it. Big shot here from MacMillan.
Yeah, once they're by the guard, you'll see them sweep on the offside for all the curl they can get at the end. Like a nose hit here, just it almost cues up the double attempt. She's got to get across the face a little bit. It cannot look good from the hacks. That's almost half buried. More than a third anyway. And she's got to get past a nose hit.
And you have to come in from this direction.
You can't, like it rolled to an absolutely fantastic spot. You made this very difficult. That's what she's looking at. Like, tough to make that shot good enough not to give her a shot for three. So then what do you do?
That's a good question.
If you don't like that shot, what's your option?
Yeah, they're trying to figure out.
Could you hit it thinner? Could you hit it thinner and come under your arm?
So MacMillan settling in.
Edged
a little issue with Sean's audio there.
That Yellowstone, but then she's going to have the yellow straight back for two.
Thank you. It's Team Tabata behind the glass. Thank you, Everlasting. Her final stone of the 7th. This one's coming up. Gonna clip it, roll on over. So is that good enough, Sean, if you're still there?
I think it is. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
I can hear you. Yeah, you're
okay.
You're blipping a little bit. We'll reboot you in between ends.
Yeah. I think it ended up in just a good enough spot because well.
So it's gonna be a draw for one here.
Yeah, there's a shot for two, but it's really risky. Like, she'd have to run the yellow slightly across the face of the one at the top of the 8-foot, clip the second one. Now her shooter would roll in. That's where she'd get the second point. But there's a lot of angles there, and if only one of them goes wrong, it's a steal.
So, Kitazawa, final stone of the 7th end. Draw for one to tie. Working in hard. This needs to get there. Got the whole 4-foot to work with. And they put it right there for the skipper. Chalk one up for yellow. And 4-4 is the score. We'll be back with more after this on Curling Stadium.
Hey Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, You've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan. Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Welcome back. It's the 8th end of action here from Swift Current. All tied up. Kayla MacMillan has the hammer in end number 8.
Need this to stop while it's still in the no-tick zone, and didn't. Now, this is one of the things about the no-tick zone. Because of the no-tick zone, this shot doesn't get played as often. Because it doesn't get played as often,
it's not made as often.
You're not as practiced at it, and yeah, exactly. It doesn't get made as often.
So, actually, earlier in the Tabata game, greetings from Poland, watching with your cat. That's wonderful. The Wood Curling Club in Poland. But yeah, that's a time in Tabata's game where they pushed the guard all the way through, almost into the coffin corner, and then want to kill the one in the back so it couldn't be frozen to, and end up ticketing into the back 12.
And there's exactly what we were just talking about. Not far off being made, but they haven't probably played that shot a lot in the last couple of years, and taps it too far. Now you want to split center. Up high.
Mm-hmm. And you'll have a nice little wing to work with.
Yeah. The tick might still be a possibility, but it's tougher.
Working this one hard for distance.
Yeah, these are tricky shots at the best time. I've seen a couple of rocks hogged already this weekend.
This is going to make it.
Yeah.
Now we'll be on the center line. Yes, it will. Probably, yeah.
It's one where you'd probably see that in an officiated competition, they do have a measuring device to determine if it's on the center line or not, and you'd probably have to bring it out for that one. I don't think it matters. She's going to look to come around because you know there's already going to be one guard for sure, so you might want to beat them in. You put this in the top of the forefoot, she follows it around to freeze, and then you start peeling guards. And this is another situation. We saw this earlier the other way around. The Kitazawa team opted to simply peel the tighter guard, and that might be what you see MacMillan do here. That long guard by itself isn't guarding much. And the tighter guard is going to be wide open.
You saw the scoreboard there. It tells the story. A pair of deuces to open the game, and then just single points. Stolen or otherwise.
I think if you're Kitazawa, you've got to come around from the out-turn side. You want to get buried behind the tight yellow guard. She's going to peel it. Yeah, I don't like this call.
A quick look at the scores. Sam Moybrook is up 5-4 on Ryan Jakes. Blandford 5-3 over Hosley. Laycock 7-4 victory over Jordan McDonald, and Kaltoff 5-3 lead over Ramsville. On the come around, Line's beautiful. Walk it over, see if we can get that last little bit of finish. Stop, stop, stop.
It's fine to be deep. You have to make sure that it's buried. You know they're going to peel a guard. I'm surprised they've talked her into peeling the high guard. Again, that high guard by itself is no good. You don't get a second peel here. If you don't make a second rock go away on this shot, this peel has done nothing. There's a lot of distance between those two. Now, having said that, she could make all four of them move if she hits this right.
Dubuque is just going to get the top one. So, here comes the guard.
Yeah, and the reason you get away with having that one be a little bit deep is because for your last stone, rather than throw a straight guard, you'd corner freeze that red, and then she's got to draw from the other side. And still hit a piece of the button, but a lot of rocks to come between now and then. You got to worry about...
This one has to make it over first.
True.
Working hard. Kitazawa is going to give it that extra 3%. And it is over.
Perfect. I still don't think I'm hitting that one.
Curious question. If it were to corkscrew back onto the hog line, does it count as being hogged?
If it stops on the hog line, it's hogged.
That's what I would think too. But
I've never seen one corkscrew. No matter how much they corkscrew, I've never seen one just corkscrew backwards.
That one is, almost caught one on the way by, but did not.
I'm still a little surprised she's playing that one. If she doubles the two that are, the yellow tighter to the rings and the red at the top of the 8-foot, how does she guard a rock in the back of the 4-foot for the whole end when this long guard is going to be off the center line too? Now, again, this has to be made 1, 2, probably 3 more times perfectly. If she ever gets them a little tighter together, the double peel becomes a little bit more plausible.
Once again, the very high guard. Such a tough shot to throw.
This one might slide a little deeper.
It did.
Not as much room between them this time.
So taking another crack at it. This time it's going to be Brittany Tran.
That was a big pop on the release.
This one's high, going to make no contact again. So close, but so far away. So that's 3 whacks at it.
Well, they're going to get at least one more, and I think you might have to throw the guard over on this side twice more. The question will be, does MacMillan on her first stone, does she still try the double peel, or does she play the draw? Tighter still. It's getting where it's hard to not touch the second one now.
Yeah.
I think it would be hard to hit this thin enough to completely miss the second one. You could absolutely nut it. That would be just a disaster.
So Tran settles in to try it again. Little lower degree of difficulty this time.
Yeah, doesn't have to kill the second guard. If she could get it a foot off the center line, it changes everything. Uh-oh, she gets to the nose, she misses the second one and picks the red out.
And that's just what happened.
Yeah, that's
falls under disaster.
Yeah, that's way worse because that stone behind the forefoot, or behind the button, now she can make a better one.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Is that just me, or is that Eugene Ritzik behind the glass?
I don't see him.
No. He always has the toothpick that he's fiddling with. And the gentleman with the cap is very much fiddling.
That is not Eugene.
No, it's not. No. Better look, but... The toothpick fiddling got me. I saw a picture of him in the Briar years and years ago, and in some game, he had the toothpick going. So, big shot here. Kitazawa with her first.
Yeah, it looked heavy from the start to me, but they had to go a little bit to make sure they got by.
Needs to simmer down.
MacMillan's got a draw now. Doesn't have a choice anymore.
So the draw's the call. The broom is down. And you want to be, just in the forefoot?
Yeah. You could make an argument for playing it on the other side, too. They might have wanted to talk about this just a bit. You bury it on this side absolutely dead perfect. She's going to play the double run on the yellows. And then how do you get in? Whereas if you play the out turn, even if you're only half around, if she makes the in turn draw, you've got your own to tap up. I mean, either way, you make a good draw here. You force Kitazawa to make something. But if she does, I don't know what you're going to have left.
So it's been a tight one. We're down to skip stones. Kayla MacMillan with her first. Needs to come around everything and draw the full four. Lindsay and Lauren are there on the brush. This one might be just a hair heavy. Not too bad.
I'm seeing nose hit on the yellow, and I think that's what who's that out front?
Nakajima.
Yeah, I think that's what she's looking at. Nose hit on the yellow. It's yellow onto red. I'm not loving this draw. It's there, but just, and then it's a short little tap up for MacMillan playing the exact same shot she just threw, assuming you can get enough button to be shot rock.
That has seemed to be the straighter side, but...
Well, the other thing is yellow onto red, where the yellows are going to end up, because you don't have to throw it big weight, you just need, hack weight. You're not trying to necessarily kill it. It's a matter of dead jamming it properly. The outturn side's going to be gone because all the yellows are in the way. So you've got an in-turn. I mean, it's essentially the same draw, except if you stuff it perfectly, she's not going to be able to see very much of the button.
So Kitazawa
this just seems like a really tough shot to leave a pretty easy one.
She taking on the out turn draw. Needs half the rock on the button.
Winner's guaranteed some kind of playoff berth. The loser is going to have to rely on draw to the button.
This one has the line. It's at the weight good. The line's going to be pretty good if they get it there. Take that last little bit of curl, carry it there, carry it there. You need the button. You didn't get it, and that will be the game. It's a final score of 5-4 in favor of Kayla MacMillan. And they take this game. Sean, back and forth battle, and just little shot here, little shot there, eh?
Yeah, it is. That's all it came down to. A big win, though. We talked about it at the start of the game. I only just thought to mention it again as she was setting up for that shot. Winner goes to 2-1. They know they're into some kind of a playoff berth with the format that we're using here. The loser now drops to 2 losses, and that means there's 9 teams here with at least 2 losses. So they'll go to the draw to the button scores. We don't know how many teams yet are going to end up at 2 losses, but somebody's going to get in off draw to the button, the cumulative draw to the button scores. We don't know who it's going to be. That's just the spot they've put them in now. Kitazawa will have to sit back and wait and see how many teams end up tied and whether their draw to the button is good enough to get in.
Well, that's going to be all right now from Swift Current. Stay tuned, because tonight at 9 o'clock Central, we have Mike McEwen versus Reed Carruthers. Join myself and Terry Corbin for Curling After Dark. But for now, from Swift Current, for Sean Joyce, Matthew Hone, Kaylee, and Jerry, I'm Dave Schmel saying thank you for watching. Have a great night. Arigato gozaimasu.